What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Utopia. This is Sinulab, and let's get started. Look at this, a little empty area here. We've been doing some work with the bees. We've got our thermionic fabricator down here. I know I pronounced that wrong. Got a little ME system starting to work here. Everything that comes out of these bees, except the bees themselves, they stay behind so I can sort them and whatnot. Comes into this chest, and then all combs get processed before they get dumped here. Otherwise, everything else just gets dumped there and just sucked right into the ME system. So everything bee-wise is being stored in the ME so far, and we'll get some expansion on that later. But let's take a look upstairs, where I've done a little bit of expansion here and a little bit of reworking with the genetics machines. Everything's kind of laid out as best I could piece it together, and ethanol needs to fill these two things with the enzymes. I need to have all of my incubators in a line. The last incubator for the drones actually takes growth medium too, so that's now up here. The bacteria gets created from there, and then the bacteria is used to make enzymes, polymerizing bacteria, bacteria vector, which fills the polymerizer and inoculator, and then there's item conduits everywhere now. So I used to have to drop, bees into the isolator, and then their capsules would be out here. I'd grab them, drop them in the polymerizer, then the analyzer, then the sequencer, all by hand. No longer do I do that. I just drop them in here, and now these pipes just on the green channel will move them over to the polymerizer, then on the red channel move it over to the analyzer, and the black channel move it over to the sequencer, and then when that's an empty sequence cell, the white channel brings it right back to the isolator. So that's great. Right now I've got all the rest of those many majestics and industrial and imperial bees that I had. Just cooking them up through the gene pool here. This thing actually ran empty. A lot of polymerizing getting done apparently, since that's the only thing that uses it. But yep, we're up to 4,000 again. I think 10 was where I was at for a good long time, and just used it all up. So that's just going. I don't know how much that's going to get us, but with all the bees in here, but we are definitely going to have to start a new bee line that's like got a short lifespan and a high fertility, which I think we can do. We have got quite a few genes here now, and of most importance is nocturnal yes, and raid intolerance yes, and cave dwelling yes. This is going to make it so all of our bees just work all the time. They just don't stop ever. So that's just great. I've got a long lifespan, which is great. I really want to get next production, highest production, or at least better than normal, so we can get just more mats out of those bees. But that's coming along. That is coming along. That's just going to cook up. I think I've got all the pieces with me now to finish out this guy. Getting the frame housing. It's just, oh, that's not probably the right tool for this, huh? Getting the frame housing, and ooh, I bet you this would work pretty well. Oh yeah, it took off a lot more than I was expecting, but we got everything we needed. So we need, I've got the tubes over here I've already made. Let's see here, so we need 3 hatcheries I was going to do. 1, 2, 3, and grab all these back. And the frame housing, oops, there we go, and 10 of those. So there we go. We can do, no, actually I guess I didn't get everything I needed. I need these 3, because this is where I was going to put the hatcheries. All right, so they will go there, and a frame there. Oops. And there. Oh, that reformed really quickly. Excellent. So these hatcheries will spontaneously spit out grubs, or not spit them out, they'll just land right here in the droppers or whatever, and they don't stack. So we can only get 5 at a time. We'll need to grab them out and store them off into a filing cabinet. I've got 4 filing cabinets empty now because we've gotten rid of all those excess bees that we had. And boy, is it glad. It's a good thing we had them all too, because I'm using them for DNA. They only give 10 each, and it doesn't go a whole long way. So I've already got the frame construction automated down here. So I'm just going to get an Ender IO item conduit, pipe it up through the wall and into all of these frame housings, and that'll just keep it stocked with the frames that this crafts automatically. So that'll be taken care of. I already added another 8 solar panels to this. You know, we were kind of on the verge before with the power. It was charging, but not really quickly. Well, let's just add a whole bunch right now, and then we won't have to worry about it for a really long time. My quarry is already at bedrock again. I've already brought back all the pieces, and instead of going to the whole world where we had been setting up our quarry, the Ender quarry that I'm using now, Micronaut has opened up access, or constructed the portal to the Deep Dark, which is great because there's like twice as much ore in that ground. So that's the next place we're going to set up a quarry. I do need to do something about flight. Well, maybe not. No, actually, I can just craft some of these Ender IO whatever they're called, travel anchors. I think I've already got one. Yeah, I've got one, so I can create another one. So we can use our staff of traveling to get up and down if someone hasn't already set that up. I haven't actually been there yet, so I don't even know what the state of the affair is over there. But started also to set up the AE system, and already I need the controller because I'm at 7 devices taking data right now, and 8 is the max. But we're not even using half of a 4K. Well, basically we are, I guess, for the B stuff yet, but we've got lots of room with another 4K in here, and I've got the cell workbench for any formatting needs later on and transferring around when organizing data on the network. But yeah, going to get a controller here and start branching out throughout the base ME cables where they need to be for automation needs or storage needs, I should say. That's the first thing. Get rid of all those chests or barrels, I should say. I've had to expand several more. There's a couple of extra ones just lying over there just because they've got overflow of coal and marble. Yeah, lots of marble. I'm also going to get back into Thaumcraft because we ran a test while I was working on this bee. Where is the bees? There it is. While I was working on the updated to this bee, right? Because I already had a bunch of programming in the Steve's Factory Manager when it was all laid out differently. And I didn't want to redo all that. So I asked Mr. Micronaut, who has a Wanda core of dislocation, to see if he could use it to pick up the Steve's Factory node and put it somewhere else and have it retain all the programming. Sure, I'm going to have to reconnect all the actual in and out items, but that's fine as long as all the programming was there. And sure enough, it retained all the programming, which is great. So that's more reason for me to actually work on Thaumcraft so I can get that wand core myself. That means that anytime I rearrange anything or redesign anything that happens to have a Steve's Factory Manager, I can keep it just as is. And I don't know, that's just good stuff. So anyway, let me get started on something, and I'll come back when we got things going. Alrighty, folks, we have got pipes automatically filling all of our frame housings with the frames. Excellent. No longer do I have to log in or remember to come over here and check to see if they need refilling like they need right now. Yeah, I'm going to need to definitely first start off getting Pure Industrious and, Imperial Industrious producing more during the night, during the rain, and underground. So I was thinking about this, the first bees that we should throw in here are the rocky ones, since their larvae, I imagine, would have their traits, and since the Rockies are the ones I isolated to get the nighttime tolerant flyer and cave dwelling, it seems to reason that their larvae would also have these. So we wouldn't need to inoculate the larvae with these, which would be nice. It'd just be the species and the production speed and the fertility. I figure for the ones that we want producing like the Industrious and Imperial, we just can keep the fertility at 1, actually. We don't really need them for their bees, just their production. I can do a separate bee line with a fertility of 4 that can produce and have a short lifespan. So those that line will produce the extra bees that we need for the gene pool. So let's throw these 2 in here and see what happens. We should, in my testing, the larvae actually showed up pretty quickly, so we'll see. We'll see. But, yes, I'll be back. Wow, folks, I came over here to see just if we had gotten 1 or 2. It's literally less than a minute since I stopped recording last, and this one's already got 4 larvae in it. This one's got 1. And this one's got 2, so wow, these produce really, really fast. I may have to, actually I think I definitely have to get some item conduits to just automatically suck these out and put them into a filing cabinet. Yeah, I wonder if you can pump into a filing cabinet. I guess we'll find out. Alright folks, it does indeed work. We can pump items right into a filing cabinet, so that's good. I'll pretty this up. I need to... Oh, I did make some more. I got 10 here, so I'll move this over here, whatnot. But yeah, this is going to... It's got 5 in here now. That's great. 2 in here. So we're going to have a lot of larvae, which is great. And it doesn't take very long. Excellent. Excellent. All right, folks. I decided to just get rid of the filing cabinet altogether and just pump everything into the pipeline that ultimately feeds into the AE system. Why not, right? Got the combs and all of its jazz getting pulled out too. Actually, just the cones are whitelisted to be pulled out. I'm not pulling out the bees. Don't really want to automate that because just 2 times through, that's all I did with there. We have 38 larvae here and then 1 out here that I went ahead and scanned. And sure enough, it has all of the nocturnal, intolerant, and cave that we were looking for here. So that's great. Really what we want to do is, like I said before, the species. The lifespan I already have long, so that's good. Production I want to get higher than normal before I do any inoculating. And right now we've got an Imperial in there, trying to get the Imperial genome species. And actually don't know if this has... long, probably not. No, it's life. I mean, it's production slowest. So we're going to need to find a drone. Maybe I'll have to just scan all the rest of the hybrids that I still have over there. For something that has a higher production, so that we can get better production out of our bees. But that's really the last piece that I need before I'm going to start inoculating. I did make some of the vials that we need. These guys, empty serum vials. So in order to get a gene, we just take the vial and right click, or maybe even just left click, whatever we want. So like lifespan long, I know what we want. So okay, it's left click. Okay, oh, and you can replace them. Oh, cool. Probably just as long as they're empty. But then this we would then throw into the polymerizer and have it filled up. Very good, very good. And then we use those in the inoculators. These are the ones that you want to have processed. This is the one that's currently processed, and then when they're done, and then bees, processed bees, and done bees. And all it takes is this bacteria vector, which is nice. Well, I guess, and the genome that you got here, but cool. So we've got a longer lifespan genome. We're going to do Industrious also, and Imperial, but I don't have that one yet. So there's Industrious. And in fact, let me just grab that right now. Yeah, so we can get the Imperial and Industrious bees at least living a long time. And let's see, what was I after? Industrious. Living a long time and producing lots of products. Alrighty, folks, so I did a little bit more work on the AE system, just got a controller up there, so now we have the ability to pull 32 channels off of each side, which is great. There's no channels being used over here, this is just power, and this is taking 4 channels for the drives, the crafting terminal, and the I/O port. And then, of course, these don't take any channels. So anything with power, I'm just going to use that cable just so that it kind of signifies that it's just power. The other 3 channels just go down there. So it's a little bit smarter. The shortest route possible sort of thing. And we've got a lot of machines that take data that we can hook up to our network now, which is great because I'm sure we're going to have a lot of import buses from all sorts of places to get everything stored up here. Going to definitely need to make some more drives, maybe some 16Ks, and like that. But anyway, folks, I will be back when I've got something going on. Huh. I didn't think Imperials or anything other than like Forest or the beginning bees would have larvae. So if we get larvae from all the bees, because that wasn't in the, in fact, if you just look for larvae, yeah, you only get the forest, the meadows, and the base types, I thought. Huh. All right, well, I don't need to isolate the imperial genome as of yet. Oh, but what's interesting, yeah, the rocky ones had all that nocturnal and cave and rain. This one likely won't. And so we'll have to inoculate it with that, which means we will need to do more genetics work before using this guy. All right, but at least that would at least have the species. And right now I've got a bee in there that's got a, I don't know if it's still here. It might have disappeared already. Nope, it's still here. It does have a fast worker on this hybrid that I have, so I'm hoping to get that gene isolated. Production normal. Still don't have it. What's sequencing now? Okay, lifespan shortness, not helpful, but one's in here, and hopefully we'll get it. But that's interesting. I threw the Imperials in here just to get the royal jelly pumping out. Oh, in fact, yeah, I need to add that to the whitelist of this. Okay. Just to get a lot more royal jellies, because there's already 7 here, and we've got the frames being auto-populated in here, so this is just golden. Get the mats so I can get some more apiaries set up, so I can get bees here permanently doing resources. And in fact, I was going to grab some tubes here, I/O conduits, so I can get this to auto-refill itself when the bees have done their breeding and whatnot. So I'm going to get that set up, and yeah, that's great. So I bet you every bee will give us larvae. Huh, cool. Anyway, we'll be back. Hey folks, so it's the next day for me. I left these imperial bees just going and going. I imagine they'll stop after a while. Well, maybe not after. It'll just keep filling this up with extra drones. But right now I've just got it pulling out the bees and putting them back in. And these are pulling out and saving off the larvae. And one thing I discovered, well, two things. I've got a lot of royal jelly now. This number has like doubled just in the 10 hours or so that this has been running, just because the frames get auto refilled, and it's an alveary which just produces more as it is. So we had like 760 I think before, and now it's over 1600. It's almost surpassed what we have in pollen. So this is great. I can just run these individual bees for a couple of days in this alveary and stock up on the mats you need to make another alveary and start those over there. But anyway, I got sidetracked. These imperial larvae that we're getting, right? Well, the regular drones that we've been breaking down for the raw DNA give us 10 each, right? Well, as just a test, I decided to try and see if we could do it with larvae, and you can. And I'm not sure. They might break down a little bit quicker, but they give you 30 DNA per. Now, of course, the downside is that they don't stack. And so I was thinking about putting a filing cabinet here, but then you would only be able to put the larvae in there. And I still am going to have extra bees that I'm going to break down, so might just make this a bigger chest, or ultimately when we get AE really up and running, just auto-fill that with larvae that are right in the AE system already. But that's cool that we have something now that produces more than 10 each, because I was having to not do anything with this setup for a while just to try and rebuild this this number. It's 7,000 now. I've never seen it over 10. And, it's great that now we have these larvae will get a lot more. Anyway, just thought I'd share that, and like that. I do have to do something with how to get the items over here that come from the quarry and everything I put into my ender pouch, and even the drones dropping off sugarcane here, right? It's got all these barrels hooked up, and then you've got processing here with the white lists and the black lists for what goes in what machine, but ultimately everything gets stocked back in this chest, and everything's on the same channel. So I certainly don't want to pull everything that's in this chest directly into AE, because that's going to have a lot of stuff that's not processed yet. Or maybe I do have to do that and just start to get some export buses and whatnot to get these things configured to just take stuff out of AE and process it here. Same with the sand from the sand making. All this stuff. So I've been digging up trying to figure out how I'm going to rewire everything, because it's kind of integrated the way it is right now, right? Everything goes into the barrels. They have to, because that's the only thing that can go in each one of those barrels. Don't really need to worry about whether or not the items can be processed beforehand or not. So I'm going to have to rework that a bit, or just do it piecemeal before I actually get all the items in the AE system. I don't know. Something's going to have to happen though. Anyway, I'll be back. Alrighty, folks, I have been busy the last several hours working on applied energistics. We've got the new setup here. This is now the processing station that gets routed to when the quarry dumps all of its stuff down through the Tesseract. Made use of the sideways export and import on the sag mill and the alloy furnace here to keep things. In fact, did I have this? No, I want that furnace only. To keep things nice and compact. So right now I've got, let's see here, let's get out the tool that'll show you the power and the item coming up here. So everything that gets dropped into that diamond chest down there, which comes from the quarry, gets routed up to here. This has actually got a whitelist on it for all of the things that can go into the sag mill. The sag mill will just drop everything of its into the alloy smeltery. This has got still the whitelist for all of the dusts, even though it's not really using it. This is more for the cinnabar. It's really the only thing that needs to get caught there to get melted down to the quicksilver for Thaumcraft. The rest then just get dropped off into here, which with a couple of upgrades to the import bus, the speed upgrades, wow, it's really slow if you don't have any in here. This pumps in at 32 things a pop now, or or fewer if there's less in the stack. And then that just gets into the AE system, which is just great. This is all nice and cleaned up. This is all no more chests. I mean, not chests, but no more barrels. Jabba's barrels here. It's all in the AE. And I even routed a panel down here so I can access it all here. Excellent. Excellent. The stuff that I still drop down into my return home chest, my linking up to my ender pouch here, will still route here first if it can. Otherwise, it'll go to the quarry chest. So just stuff that I don't really want to put in AE yet, because there's only like so many of it, and it'll just take up a lot of drive space with the types that get maxed out pretty quickly. But I did make quite a few drives and shuffled them around to get stuff kind of equalized. But the left side here has precision drives that includes everything that I get from the quarry. So I kind of balance things out with types and amounts, and we should see these just build steadily until 16, everything that the quarry affects there. This is just stuff that I get around the base, or I have many things of, like the bees or the ender pearls or all the little mats otherwise. But starting to get into crafting here at the terminal, so it's pretty nice. If I just need a processor for something, I just dump that in AE and then can craft it right here in the terminal. Oops, that was interesting. Almost lost my mouse. But yeah, so I'll spend a lot of time with AE, which is great. And a new sorting system for the intake for the quarry, which is great too, because I want to get the new quarry set up in the deep dark. I've scattered it out.
I think I need to make probably about 2 more of these anchors. Where are they? Travel anchors, so that I can get up and down from the deep dark. You start up at the ceiling, and the ours drops down on a roof of one of those big building sort of spawner treasure chest areas you get to find, which is pretty cool. So I can, from the top, have an anchor there, and then maybe an anchor on the ceiling of that, and then an anchor down to the ground. So that'll make my up and down very nice until I get around to finally killing a wither. I mean, Micro's got it on farm. I could just go in the building and kill it, I guess, now just so I can fly. But, you know, kind of gotten used to walking around and dealing with it otherwise. It's kind of cool. But anyway, that's going to be next episode that I go to the Deep Dark and set up that quarry. I've got everything in that chest that I'm going to bring there that I have already tested out. That was my last dig in the whole world. But, this craft age, I think, is going away pretty soon because everyone's going to be digging in the Deep Dark. So I'm going to switch out the Imperial bees that I have up there in the alveary soon. As soon as this, no, not the honey, the Royal Jelly, until the Royal Jelly hits 2K. Then I'll switch to the Industrious, get that up to 2K, and then I'll switch to whatever bee I have right now that's producing the best to get honey so that I can expedite my additional alvearies to get set up. So I can start doing some mass producing with bees. I do have to start getting into some more genetics. We've already got the maroon bee, right? For the colors, we're looking for the colors, all these colors, red, blue, and yellow, all to help us make what we need with genetics, with the DNA dye and the fluorescent dye. So I'll need to do some more crossbreeding to get the other 2 colors, and there was a 4th one that I can't remember right now, but I'm sure it'll come to me when I need it most. Anyway, folks, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I know it seems a little short, but I am worn out. I spent a lot of time with AE. In fact, you may have noticed that I built another growth accelerator just because I was going through crystals like crazy making those drives. So did work on the programming a bit, cleaned it up, removed a lot of redundant stuff. Now it's just anything that gets dropped in here will get pulled out. So whenever I need my little onesies or twosies that I'm using to make maybe like the AE glass, I can just drop it in there and it gets pulled up to here. Now I just need to, there's a better thing, I can just clean this up a bit more, just anything that drops in here, because I've already got the check to only pull into the pools if the criteria is met, right? This won't start until it's got the sand and whatever dust it needs. And the dust it'll get, if it finds it in here, it'll put it there and bring it back. And if there's no sand, it's not going to take it. So I can just do my quartz by itself, and as long as there's no sand in here, it won't take it to make seeds. So just a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little more efficient there in the code, fewer codes in the programming, just to help overall. Anyway, folks, I think that's going to do it, and I hope you had a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.